Have you ever noticed that the most fulfilling moments come when you're helping others to succeed? What if the universe's greatest secret is that personal growth accelerates the most when we actually focus on giving? And here's a thought that might challenge you. What if everything you've ever been taught about self-improvement has actually been backwards? That self-improvement focuses on yourself when the real magic happens when we focus on others and giving to them with our gifts and superpowers. If so, if any of these questions kind of spark your interest, you're going to want to stick around. My name's Jake Talbert. I'm the founder and author of the GIVER method. Today, we're going to be exploring something that could transform how you think about personal development. And that's this incredible connection between giving and growth. Now, before we dive in, if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell for notifications. After the video is over, you can always find us at thegivermethod.com or on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, all those places. We don't want you to miss out on any of the content that's going to help you to unlock your potential and become a true giver. Now, I keep using that term giver. On the channel, on the YouTube channel, there's going to be tons of videos on what it means to be a giver and the acronym of what GIVER stands for. So for those of you who might be new, real quick, it's a framework for personal growth and impact that really focuses on discovering your unique gifts and superpowers and using them to create value for others while building meaningful relationships. The moment that this really became real for me was as I started working with small businesses and entrepreneurs, helping them in regular stuff I do day to day with their systems and software and simplifying down the processes they have and building them into the technology that they have. I was so focused on always trying to grow myself and to learn and know what the new tactics are, what are the new techniques people are doing, what are the new software tools. And so I just kept trying to learn. And I found that I would almost get annoyed when people were asking me questions, when clients would be asking me, well, what about this? How do we do that? Because I'm like, dang it, now I got to go learn more. When in reality, when I just paused and I'm like, look, I've got a wealth of knowledge I can share. I've got all this stuff that I can provide them. Let me just pause and give it to them. And I don't need to learn it all. I can learn as I'm going. And it was starting to shift that perspective for me that like, yeah, I was improving myself, but if I paused and actually focused on the client, how much happier they were, how much clearer it was for them, how much faster projects got done. Like it really did amplify that. And of course, along the way, they're asking me for things that are outside of what I knew. And so I still had to go learn and I was still growing, but I was able to then teach the principles I was learning to people faster and in different ways, which helped me to really refine the skill. So we're going to dive into those sort of things. We're going to talk about principles that show us how to accelerate growth. Now, as I go through these different principles and ideas, I'm going to share a principle with you, and each one I'm going to have an action item. I recommend that you grab a piece of paper or open up a note so that way you can jot down your thoughts about that action item while I give it, because it's not about what happens here on the video. Just watching the video isn't going to shift or change anything for you, but the actions that you put into place today or this week or this month, those are going to be the things that really help to amplify and move this forward for you. It's really going to push your personal growth further and further, and the more we do that with our gifts and superpowers, the more we can deliver value to people. We're just basically inviting the universe to pay us back in all sorts of ways. So let's dive into it. Let's go through what these principles are. The first principle I'm basically going to refer to as the mirror effect. So when you give to others, it's actually like you're holding up a mirror to your own capabilities. When we give to others, we engage in a process that reveals our true capabilities, uncovers our strengths that maybe we didn't realize in ourselves. Like the act of giving, it really is like holding up a mirror for those gifts. It reflects on the skills like, of empathy or, delivering value in different ways, that we may otherwise overlook in the day-to-day situations. Many of our natural talents are so deeply ingrained that we may not even think of them as strengths until we see how to respond to them. And I like to take those gifts and say, hey, how do we make them be superpowers? How do we actually make it so that we're able to go out into the world with this unique thing and deliver more? Now, perhaps you find yourself being the personal, the friend that everyone comes to for advice or that people seek out for clarity. Like small everyday interactions often hold the clues to what are those superpowers. Like through giving, we actually learn to see ourselves in a new light as others respond and reflect on the significance of our contributions. So when people thank you or express how you've impacted them, you're gaining insight into what your hidden gifts are. The mirror effect teaches us that self-discovery often comes from looking outward by noticing what resonates with others and the difference we make in their lives. And so an action item here would be throughout this week, observe what people frequently thank you for, or what do they seek you out for advice on. These are often hidden gifts and superpowers. So jot them down when it happens, and by the end of the week, you can reflect on any patterns that may reveal a unique strength that you might have, been gaining, or that you've been granted, or that you want to go take advantage of. Now, the second principle is about, building growth for yourself through challenge. Giving often challenges us to step outside of our own comfort zones in ways that, self-focused growth rarely does. When we're in the service of others, we find ourselves motivated to stretch and expand in ways that we might not have otherwise attempted to. So think about a time when someone depended on you for guidance or support. Perhaps you had to navigate unfamiliar territory to meet their needs, or learn a new skill that will better serve them. It's in these moments we discover strengths maybe we didn't know that we had. We often can surprise ourselves with the ability to rise to that occasion and deliver for them. Growth through challenge means embracing opportunities that test our capabilities and encourage personal development. In giving, we may be called to, confront our own limitations, or face our own fears, or tackle some sort of a complex issue. Like, these challenges, they not only help those we're serving, but also contribute in so many ways to your own growth journey by reinforcing our resilience and expanding our own skill sets. And so an action item here would be: choose an area where maybe you feel underqualified and offer your help to someone in need. It could be tutoring on a subject that maybe you're not perfect at, or coaching someone in an area that you're still improving on yourself. Document any new strengths or skills you build along the way, focusing on how supporting someone else can really stretch your own growth. Now, our third principle is, I just refer to all the time as the feedback loop. When we give to others, we receive instant feedback that helps us grow more quickly than in traditional learning methods. This feedback loop is inevitable because it's authentic, it's unfiltered, it's grounded in the real interactions when we're giving. So unlike theoretical feedback, which can sometimes feel disconnected, the reactions we receive from those we're helping, that we help, it provides immediate and really actionable insights. And so this feedback allows us to really adjust our approach and refine our methods to deepen our understanding of how we can best serve others. So each act of giving becomes an experiment in, empathy or communication or effectiveness. If we truly listen and observe, the responses to our actions and our giving, we can continuously refine and improve how we show up for others. So the feedback loop, this sort of feedback loop, it not only accelerates our own growth, but also ensures that we remain sensitive to the needs of those around us by creating a cycle of continuous improvement and learning. And so action item here is going to be to start, I often refer to it as an impact journal. I'm big on journaling, so you might want to just put that down as an action item and start journaling daily. Start an impact journal where you document the immediate reactions and maybe long-term outcomes of your giving, and reflect on how your actions landed with others, and consider maybe small adjustments for the next time that maybe will make it more effective. This is going to allow you to see your growth in real time and create a record of how your giving has actually evolved over time. Now, our fourth one is going to be, creating this catalyst of confidence. So there's a unique, powerful confidence that comes when you're seeing how your actions create real change in someone else's life. Unlike confidence that's built on personal achievements, this form of self-assurance is really grounded in the knowledge that you have the power to positively impact others. So this confidence catalyst is fueled by tangible proof that your gifts have a meaningful effect, and it builds an authentic and unwavering belief in your value. It's not the kind of confidence that comes with any sort of an accolade or an award. In fact, it's the kind that comes from just witnessing your influence firsthand and the impact it's making. This confidence, it becomes the foundation for personal growth. And as each of us, experiences it, it reinforces your belief that your capacity, in your capacity to make a difference. When you see that you can offer real help, solve real problems, provide comfort to individuals, it really does shift your view of yourself and what your potential could be. With each act of giving, you reinforce a deeper sense of worth that really propels you forward. It encourages you to take steps into new opportunities, and as you do so, you do it with just more assurance and more confidence. So the action item here is going to be to reflect on a time when you positively impacted someone. Write about the experience and how it boosted your self-belief. Focus on how this confidence feels different than maybe other achievements. Each time you question your abilities, revisit revisit this type of a moment as a reminder of the real change that you're capable of creating and helping you to be way more resilient as you move forward. Now, principle number 5 is going to be about the connection and the connection component. So personal growth, it does not happen in isolation as much as people think so. The truth is that growth often requires the support and connection of others. When we engage in giving, we naturally build our relationships, and that these relationships create a network of mutual support. These connections become really important for personal growth as they surround us with people who really share our values and are supporting us on our journey that we're going down. So this connection component, it emphasizes that growth doesn't happen in that way. It's not in the isolation, it's not by yourself, but thrives in community where your personal strengths are acknowledged and where mutual learning takes place. Through these relationships, we're really exposed to new ideas and perspectives and ways of thinking, which help us grow in ways that we maybe couldn't achieve alone. In creating deeper, more genuine connections through giving, we establish a support system that not only amplifies our own impact, but also serves as a foundation for lasting personal growth. We learn from each other, we celebrate each other's successes, and you navigate challenges together, creating a collective environment that's focused on shared development and growth. And so an action item here would be to identify one person in your network whom maybe you could cultivate a deeper relationship with through giving, and start by offering your support in a meaningful way and observe how this interaction opens doors for mutual growth and understanding, and note how these connections bring maybe fresh insights into your growth journey. Now, number 6, I've kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, it's all about resilience and building on that resilience. So when we focus on giving, setbacks often really do become learning opportunities rather than personal failures. When our focus shifts from self-centered growth, the impact we have on others becomes less sensitive to personal disappointment and more focused on finding the solutions. This mindset builds resilience. Each setback, is that chance to refine our approach and learn how to serve people better. Giving teaches us that, failure, it's not about us. They're just simply part of the process of learning how to contribute more effectively. This idea encourages the growth-focused perspective where challenges are welcomed as tools for improvement. So resilience, it becomes not only a personal asset, but also an essential part of the effective giving that you're doing. And as we continue to serve others, we're going to develop emotional strength and learn to handle these setbacks with so much more grace and adaptability. This resilience is what allows us to keep giving even when the path gets tough. And so the action item here is that the next time you encounter some sort of a setback, you can ask yourself, how could I use this experience to serve others better? Maybe reflect back on a setback you had in the past and look at how that experience has helped you to now serve people better. Reflect on how facing challenges can deepen your empathy, improve your skills, or make you a stronger giver. Now, our 7th principle is about multiplying your momentum. The more you give, the more opportunities of growth will appear. It is a snowball effect, and each act of giving, it opens doors and creates new possibilities for personal growth. When you commit to giving consistently, each interaction, it's going to create that ripple effect that draws even more and more opportunities. It's like a magnet. And as the more we give, we start to notice the needs around us more clearly, and people begin to recognize the value we bring. And so this momentum, it really is a powerful force. Each act of service, increases our reach. It expands our potential for growth, and it helps that growth within ourselves and those that we're connected with. So this momentum multiplier, a momentum multiplier highlights the consistent giving in that idea of that, that snowball effect. And one act is always going to lead to another. And over time, this cumulative impact results in way bigger growth and opens all these pathways that you may not have anticipated. By continuously showing up for others, we build a foundation that supports our long-term growth by creating a journey where personal development and impact go hand in hand. And so the action item here is going to be to commit to giving one small way each day this week, whether it's through sharing a skill, offering advice, or lending a listening ear, or actually doing service. At the end of the week, reflect on the ripple effect of these actions, created, and identify new opportunities or relationships that have emerged. As you track these experiences, you're going to see the power of consistent giving over time. Now, as you do these principles, there are going to be some challenges. There's some setbacks that people find. Finding time to give, while managing your own personal responsibilities, maintaining boundaries while serving others, staying motivated when results aren't necessarily immediate, balancing this idea of self-care and giving. So personal growth, through giving, it isn't just self-improvement strategy. It's a complete, paradigm shift in how we approach our own development. When you focus on using your gifts to serve others, you often find that the universe has these ways to pay you back and accelerate your growth. And so I always ask people to just, start small. Start small with any of these principles. Choose one of the ways that you can give this week and notice how that act of giving shapes your own development. Remember that you don't need to be perfect to start giving. You just need to be willing to share what you already have. One of my favorite things, descriptions of what I've heard in a book that was about, being an expert. And it said, being an expert doesn't mean that you're the best in that area or that field. Doesn't mean that you're at the top of that field. Being an expert means that you know something that I don't, and you're able to share it to me in a way that I develop and grow. That makes you an expert to me. So you have these things within you. You just need to start sharing them. So you don't have to be perfect. Just find the way to start sharing these things that you already have within you. Now, if you're ready to really dive deeper into the approach of personal growth, I encourage you to join us at thegivermethod.com and join our newsletter, where we can, share out exclusive tips and insights on growing through giving, developing your gifts and superpowers, building on your sphere of influence, delivering value to others in all sorts of ways, making each engagement, discussion, interaction you have with others as effective as possible. And hey, if this video resonated with you, give it a thumbs up. Share your thoughts in the comments. Maybe share it with someone who needs to hear this message. I want to use this to spread the power of growth through giving, especially utilizing our gifts and superpowers. And so until next time, keep growing, keep giving, and remember that your growth and your ability to help others are two sides of the same coin. We want you to just take this chance to step into who it is you're meant to be with your gifts and superpowers. You need to believe in yourself. I believe in you. And the world and the universe is waiting for you to do that so you can make that impact you were born to make. So until next time, have a great rest of your day.